Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the March 30, 2026 special public hearing of the Kenton County Planning Commission. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for our invocation. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for our invocation.
As we, the members of this commission, gather here today, we ask that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render service to our fellow citizens and to our community. Let us continue to strive to make a better world by always keeping in mind the enduring values of life, and let us exert our efforts in those areas upon which future generations may build with confidence. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Smith, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Armbruster?
Here.
Commissioner Baumgartner?
Here.
Commissioner Burling? Commissioner Bridges?
Present.
Commissioner Darpool? Here. Commissioner DeAngelis?
Here.
Commissioner Dickey?
Here.
Commissioner Dunham?
Here.
Commissioner Flem?
Here.
Commissioner France?
Yes.
Commissioner Heydrich?
Here.
Commissioner Herman?
Here.
Commissioner James?
Here.
Commissioner Martin? Commissioner Ryan?
Present.
Commissioner Simpson?
Here.
Commissioner Sketch?
Here.
Commissioner Snyder?
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Here.
Commissioner Wickman?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Next, I'd like to just review with you all just a summary of our public hearing procedures. If you wish to speak, you must register by signing up at the back table. You can decide later on if you want to speak. We'll poll the audience for anyone wishing to speak on the matter, and only those individuals who have registered to speak will be allowed to comment. So please make sure that you sign up for the right matter back there. There are two exits from this room, the main door that you came in, and there's also an emergency exit here through the alcove. Under normal circumstances, please leave the room by the door through which you entered. In an emergency, please use whichever exit is closest. Fire codes prohibit blocking doors and aisles. Restrooms are located outside the main doors, and food or drinks are not permitted in the public section of the room. And then please turn off your cell phone or set it to vibrate. And let's see, when we do call your name, if you'll come forward and state your name and address for the record. This is being recorded. So with that, next item of business is the review of this month's agenda. Commissioners, you should have those in front of you. Any questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as it stands.
First by Commissioner Snyder.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sketch. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have the review of March 5th, 2026 meeting minutes. I do have some feedback on those, and so we're going to revise those and recirculate an updated draft in advance of our next meeting, so we'll pass on that for this evening. You have the report of receipts and expenditures in front of you. Any questions, comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve the receipts and expenditures.
I'll second.
All right, first by Commissioner Ryan, second by Commissioner Snyder. Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. We have the report of last month's actions by staff that were circulated. Also have subdivision plat letter, and then we have a report of last month's actions by our legislative bodies. Any questions?
Just interesting to note that the two items that we recommended unfavorable for were both upheld as being unfavorable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good to see.
Yep. Let's see. All right, well, with that, we'll move on to the next item, which is file number PC-26-0001-PF. The applicant is the Kenton County School District per Matthew Brigg, Chief Operations Officer. The location is 2772 Amsterdam Road, an area of approximately 16 acres located on the north side of Amsterdam Road between Lauren Drive to the east and Prospect Point Drive to the west, approximately 400 feet east of Prospect Point Drive. The request is a public facility review per KRS 100.324 and KRS 147.680. Summary is that the applicant proposes to add a drive around the perimeter of the site and new off-street parking areas in order to reroute parent drop-off and pickup traffic at River Ridge Elementary School. Ms. Barber?
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Kayla Barber, PDS staff. And as the chair stated, this request is for public facility review of a proposed development at the River Ridge Elementary School. The applicant is seeking to construct a perimeter drive and new off-street parking area to improve traffic flow for parent drop-off and pickup. The proposed renovations will focus largely on remedying a stacking issue wherein cars line up against each other along Amsterdam Road, from which drivers enter the campus, leading to traffic congestion and safety hazards. Other parts of the project include fixing some of the area's drainage issues, expanding the playground, and installing new sidewalks, and a connecting walkway from the campus to the nearby Sanctuary Village neighborhood. As a reminder, KRS requires public facilities to be reviewed by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission decision is not binding on the facility and is an advisory review on the facility's compliance with the comprehensive plan. River Ridge Elementary School is a public school operated by Kenton County School District located at 2772 Amsterdam Road in the city of Villa Hills. It occupies an area of approximately 16 acres located on the north side of Amsterdam Road between Lauren Drive to the east and Prospect Point Drive to the west. There are a total of 3 parcels within the site, with the rear parcel being heavily wooded. River Ridge Elementary School is the largest elementary school in Kenton County, was created in 1996 through the merger of a primary and intermediate school. It serves approximately 950 students in kindergarten through 5th grade, and the school maintains a yearly improvement plan that includes specific strategies for growth, instructional planning policies, and learning targets. There's also an existing sidewalk easement linking the elementary school grounds with the Sanctuary Village via sidewalk, and their HOA is who maintains that. And the surrounding area in general consists of suburban-style single-family residential, both detached and attached. So they've kind of outlined their proposed development in a series of priorities, with priority 1 being site clearing and the felling of trees. Priority 2 being grading and paving for new parking and associated needs. And then a temporary construction fence will be put up to keep students on the playground area. And then they're going to utilize some existing fence to keep students out of the clearage area. Priority 3 is to reconfigure the bus loop, reconfigure the parking and drive, add a loading dock, rework some of the concrete curbs and gutters, and expand the sidewalk network, all of the associated grading with that, and then some electric and communication switchovers, and also enlarging the detention basin there. So this is the proposed site plan, one-way loop connecting the 2-way drive aisles, a new parking lot in the rear, new improved signage, an enlarged detention basin, the new pedestrian connection walkway linking the Sanctuary Village neighborhood, a new loading dock, an updated Car Rider Pro system, and a remodeled playground. It is in the suburban sub-area, currently zoned as institutional. Surrounding areas a mixture of residential conventional subdivision, residential large lot subdivision, planned unit development, and neighborhood commercial. Existing land use is institutional. Surrounding areas a mixture of single and multifamily residential with areas used for open space, communications, and commercial developments. The proposed addition and renovations are consistent with the recommended land use map, which identifies the site for other community facilities and mixed use. The site is located on an urban major collector road and is known to experience heavy periods of traffic, especially during times of student drop-off and pickup. often leading to significant congestion for upwards of an hour or more on Amsterdam Road. And that's the primary motivation for this renovation. The site in question does contain a developmentally sensitive area along the eastern edge of the property where a large drainage basin is located, in addition to a smaller drainage basin located on the interior of the bus loop. There are also quite a few mature trees growing on the northern portion of the property in an area slated for demolition. Staff finds the submitted public facility request is consistent with the goals, objectives, and recommendations of our 24 Kenton County Comprehensive Plan, especially with reference to the goals, objectives, recommendations, and then the sub-area suburban element, environment element, and the community facilities element. Per KRS 100, Kenton County Board of Education is an instrumentality of the state government and therefore exempt from local zoning regulations. We would like to ensure proper integration of the proposed development and would like to give a little extra attention to site lighting, landscaping, screening buffers, low impact development for stormwater management, hopefully minimize the tree removal and preserve vegetation, especially on the northern portion of the site. And then give extra clarity to the design of their off-street parking areas and their off-street loading areas. KRS again states that public facilities must be reviewed by the Planning Commission within 60 days of receipt. And KRS 100 also states instrumentalities of the state are exempt from zoning requirements. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions for Ms. Barber?
So-
Thank you. Oh, yes.
So
Fran.
what is proposed for the area that's on the northern part where all the trees are being removed, that would border that new loop road and the new parking lot to the east?
So,
Where all the, looks like little arrows are. What is,
if you were to turn the site counterclockwise 90 degrees here, you can see that parking lot that's towards the right and the drive. That's actually the northern side of the parking lot. So unfortunately, a majority of the area that they're wanting to clear the trees from will just remain open space. Looks like on the map there that will be behind a fence. And so like if you were to, sorry.
Yeah, so that area was in green.
Yeah.
My question was, why necessarily do they need to remove all those trees if nothing is going back there and it's not being used as playground or parking or any, or just it's going to be mowed lawn? At that point, why not leave the trees?
Unfortunately, I can't speak much to that. Have similar feelings, though.
Mhm.
Perhaps that's something they could consider with preserving as many of those mature trees as they can. It does look like once they extend the drive loop, it will go back to about the perimeter of that rear property, so they could potentially save some trees like between the building and where the driveway will go. But that's something that we could maybe defer to the Kenton County
Sure.
Public School folks.
Any other questions?
Just to clarify, Ms. Barber, if they intended to preserve those trees, would we be able to tell that from this plan?
On this plan, it's looking like they intend to clear cut them all.
Okay.
The whole area basically slated there, you can see with the green boundary is the area in question, and it does look like they're intending to cut down all of the trees, and then temporarily grade that area for machinery, to have access to be able to complete the driveway.
Any other questions?
It does appear they are maintaining the buffer to the east from the residential units, and that there's a stream that runs along there, is that correct?
Yes, the only intervention they're proposing there is to emphasize the existing walkway connection, which we thought was a really nice touch for students that might live in the neighborhood. They could continue to walk to school there. The yellow area, they will require a permit from SD1 for that. That is considered a wetland area, environmentally sensitive, so they will have to get a permit for that.
questions? Commissioner Sketch? No. All right, thanks, Ms. Barber.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone here for the applicant like to speak? No? Great. Well, if that's the case, I don't have anyone else signed up to speak on the matter. We can recess the public hearing for discussion among commissioners. Thoughts?
With no one here from the applicant, I would, again, I know it's a cursory review, but I would just like them to consider not removing all those trees in that northeast portion of the site unless they're just doing it for future development use, and while they've got equipment there, they just gonna remove all the trees. But it seems, I'm not sure what their reasoning for that is, but just consider leaving the wooded tree area if it's not gonna be developed in the near future.
It looks like it's a grading issue because of the road that's going back there, the access road that got come back. You can see the grading of it. It looks like they had to do it for grading purposes. I imagine when you change an elevation was so great that they had to push that back as far as they could to make that grade. Because you can see the road, I don't know if you look at the topo, you can see the road and the contours on the road. And you can see how close they are, so it's even a steeper grade.
I'm sure what
So
sheet
I would
you.
imagine they had to do it for grading. C500. And actually, there's on C402 next to it, you can even see it's a better scale.
I agree with the sentiment generally in terms of preserving the trees, particularly given that there is a sensitive wetland area there. We know what happens, obviously, runoff associated with clearing, and so any amount of tree preservation in that area will be valuable toward protecting that wetland area and for aesthetic beauty as well.
All right.
Greg, when we're looking at that C500, it looks like that's the new retention pond. I didn't.
That's not.
No?
It's coming down the other way. You can see that the arrows, the drainage arrows.
Oh,
coming down
yeah, it's all
the
draining
bottom.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they could, but.
All right.
Just a question for Matt. Matt, if we wanted to put something in the motion just as a consideration, how would that be worded?
We would go ahead and make a favorable or unfavorable recommendation with the additional information, whatever the additional information we have.
All right. Any other discussion? Nope. All right, we'll return to the public hearing. We need clarifications by the commissioners of the staff. All right, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll entertain a motion. Our Villa Hills rep is Ms. Janes. Commissioner Janes, would you like to make a motion?
Sure. I'd like to make the following motion with reference to file number PC 260001PF for the Kenton County School District to do a public facility review per KRS 100.324 and KRS 147.680, proposing to construct a perimeter drive and a new off-street parking area to improve the traffic flow for parent drop-off and pickup at River Ridge Elementary School. And with that, we, as commissioners, have expressed an interest in preserving as much of the trees as possible there. I move to approve the development plan based on the facts and considerations contained in the staff report and the testimony of the staff and witnesses present at the hearing. I further find that the proposed development plan is consistent with the applicable regulations.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sketch. Mr. Smith, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Janes?
Yes.
Commissioner Sketch?
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder?
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Wickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgartner?
Yes.
Commissioner Armbruster?
Yes.
Commissioner Burling? Commissioner Bridges?
Yes.
Commissioner Darple?
Yes.
Commissioner DeAngelis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Flem? Commissioner Flem?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Commissioner France?
Yes.
Commissioner Hydrid?
Yes.
Commissioner Herman?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, thank you very much. Next item is file number PC-26-0003-MA. The applicant is the City of Independence per Chris Marconi, City Administrator. The location is an area of approximately 95.6 acres located on the south side of Mount Zion Road between Robert Spiegel Road to the east and Sigmund Lane to the west, approximately 3,100 feet west of the intersection of Mount Zion Road and Bristow Road. The request is 1, an adoption of appropriate comprehensive plan designation for the area described herein as part of the annexation process, and 2, designation of appropriate zoning for the area described herein as part of the annexation process. Summary is the property is proposed for an industrial development to include 3 buildings totaling approximately 1,112,000 square feet of floor area, streets and off-street parking lots. And that would be our summary. Mr. Denbo.
Thank you very much, and for the record, I am Patrick Denbo with PDS staff. So as was stated, this request has to do with an annexation for the property. KRS 100 states that as part of the annexation process, a city can request the Planning Commission adopt appropriate comprehensive plan designation and recommend an appropriate zoning designation. So KCPC's action regarding the comprehensive plan designation will be final. The action regarding the zoning designation would be a recommendation back to the city. The city would take, again, final action as part of their final annexation ordinance at that point. So the site is located within the suburban sub-area of the comprehensive plan. It currently contains 2 parcels. The larger parcel, which is most of this property here, contains just over 93 acres. The smaller parcel is just under an acre, and it's visible right here at the top of the page. The site is vacant and it's heavily wooded. There are currently 2 ponds located on the site. So there's one larger pond located at the top of the map and a smaller one located here. That larger pond actually takes up approximately 4.3 acres. There is an existing curb cut to the site, and again, that is located adjacent to the pond near the existing dam that's there. The public right-of-way for Robert Spiegel Road. Robert Spiegel is the road off to the east of this site that runs into the adjacent industrial development. The right-of-way at the cul-de-sac with Clymer Court actually stubs into this site. The surrounding area consists of a mixture of residential, institutional, and industrial uses. The area directly to the east it does consist of an existing industrial development. An adjacent parcel to the north along Mount Zion Road contains an existing institutional facility. And the areas to the west of the site, between this site and the Boone County line, so these parcels right here on the map, these are zoned single-family residential currently in the area, but are vacant. And the areas to the west of the site within Boone County are industrial properties. The areas to the south of the site are mostly suburban-style single-family residential, and that's this property here is the top of a planned unit development subdivision. And then this property here on the map is an industrial property to the south. A little bit of history for the site. So in 2020, recommended land use update was approved by KCPC that changed this particular site from residential 2.1 to 4 dwelling units per acre to industrial and mixed use. Then in 2021, the city, as part of an annexation process, made a very similar request to this for the adjacent Park 536 site. That application included a site plan that was agreed to be binding on the applicant upon annexation. KCPC in that case ruled that the comprehensive plan designation not change, and that upon annexation, the zoning would be I1 industrial, or I'm sorry, IP industrial park. Later in 2021, the city adopted the Z21 zoning ordinance. This changed the IP zone to GI, which is general industrial. And then finally, in February of this year, the city entered into an annexation agreement for the subject site, which provides the intent to also enter into development agreements for the site. And then in March, the city heard first reading on an ordinance for annexation. And per KRS, the city is seeking these actions from the Planning Commission prior to taking final action on the ordinance for annexation. So again, the property is currently zoned R1C, that's a single-family residential zone, and that's in the unincorporated Kenton County zoning ordinance. The area to the immediate east, which is the Park 536 property, is zoned general industrial. Areas to the north are zoned for single-family residential, and the parcels to the immediate west of the site, again, that is these parcels here, are currently zoned single-family residential. The parcel, so that's within Kenton County. The areas just to the west in Boone County are industrial properties. The existing land use is open space, with the surrounding areas being reflective of the zoning designation, including industrial to the east, single-family and institutional to the north. Areas to the south and west are currently open space and or vacant, and the existing land use nearby in Boone County is industrial. The existing R1C zone permits single-family residential dwellings at a density of approximately 3.5 dwelling units per acre. The general industrial zone is intended to provide locations for all types of manufacturing, research and development, warehouse, and flex space. Uses within this zone may have extensive outdoor storage areas, generate heavy truck traffic, or create impacts that must be mitigated or buffered. The uses permit a wide range of commercial and industrial uses, including light fabrication, heavy manufacturing, and warehouse and logistics. A development plan is not required when a jurisdiction is the applicant. However, the applicant has submitted a development plan, and through the annexation agreements and anticipated development agreements, the intent is for this plan to be binding upon annexation. The submitted concept plan contains the following information. So this is the submitted concept plan. So this is intended to be a continuation of the neighboring development to the east, the Park 536 development. So the development will be divided into 3 lots. Each lot would contain an industrial building. These buildings are numbered on the plan as if they are a continuation of the neighboring development, so you'll see that. So building 5 will measure 1,000 feet by 500 feet. That's a total of 500,000 square feet of floor area. And buildings 5 and 6 will each measure just over 1,000 feet by 300 feet, so it's 306,000 total square feet for each building. All buildings will be greatly exceeding the setback requirements. All access into the site will be from the existing Robert Spiegel Road to the east, which is the main access to the neighboring Park 536. The road accesses KY 536 at a new roundabout and is a public road from Mount Zion Road back to the cul-de-sac within the development. And again, this cul-de-sac does provide a stub into the site. The main access, again, will be from Robert Spiegel Road. It'll be located approximately 1,200 feet back from the intersection with Mount Zion Road, and approximately 600 feet from the cul-de-sac at the end of Robert Spiegel. This will include a private street that will be constructed per the Kenton County subdivision regulations, so that's the area in purple shown there on the map. Again, that's intended to be a private street, but built to the subdivision standards. It will also end in a cul-de-sac, but continue on as a driveway around the back of Building 5. All other drives throughout the site are access driveways for the various off-street parking and loading areas. And that would include a secondary access point that will be located directly off the cul-de-sac That's the stub point into the property at Clymer Court. And the plans indicate that this access point will connect to a driveway that will provide access to and around Building 5. The off-street parking standard for the site on the plan is 1 space for each employee plus 1 space for each company vehicle operating from the premises. The plan shows 1,004 total standard, 9 by 18 parking spaces, 24 handicap spaces, and 277 12 by 50 tractor-trailer parking spaces. The plan indicates that Building 5 will have approximately 200 employees and 5 company vehicles, while Buildings 6 and 7 will have 150 employees with 5 company vehicles each. This means that they will be greatly exceeding the 515 spaces required. And the private street, all access driveways and any off-street parking adjacent to the buildings will include heavy-duty pavement. All other off-street parking areas will include standard duty pavement, and all loading areas will include heavy-duty concrete pavement. Landscaping will include a 75-foot vegetative buffer adjacent to residentially zoned areas to the north and to the south. The rest of the site will include a 10-foot vegetative buffer adjacent to public and private streets and all vehicular use areas. The plan is not indicating buffers adjacent to the residentially zoned areas to the west, which again are currently vacant. These properties are recommended for industrial use and situated between this site and the industrial areas in Boone County. The existing creek corridor below the existing dam on the lake is to be largely preserved, and landscape islands will be installed per every 20 standard vehicular parking spaces. Stormwater will include 1 new detention basin along the east side that extends into the Park 536 development, and then modifying the existing lake along 536 to provide detention. The plan also includes 2 development entry signs located in those locations on the stars, and then 4 internal business signs along the internal private streets and driveways located at the green stars there on the map. Staff conducted a review of the comprehensive plan and finds areas of consistency. The proposed development will strive to attract and create new jobs and will incorporate employment centers within close proximity to existing residential areas, which can support the development. Furthermore, the proposed development helps to identify suitable land for industrial and encourages rezoning areas that have been identified as strategic locations for employment and industrial development. The proposed development is consistent with the recommended land use, which identifies the site for industrial and mixed use. Mixed use in this area can include 1 or more of industrial, commercial, and office uses. This is a natural extension of the adjacent industrial development. The site is also located within the vicinity of a community service area, which is known as a CSA, and this particular CSA anticipated that there would be improvements along 536 as increasing development opportunities for this area and to accommodate mixed use, including industrial, residential, office, and commercial. New developments within this area should be designed to promote good connectivity between uses within the developments as well as to the surrounding residential areas. The CSA states that moderate to high density residential development within this area are critical to the viability for future mixed uses. Mount Zion Road and Bristow Road are classified as minor arterial urban. And again, 536 has been undergoing a massive realignment. Robert Spiegel Road is classified as a local street, and Mount Zion Road includes multi-use paths and sidewalks along both sides of the realigned street. Tank does not operate a bus route in this location. There are no areas of DSA located within the site. There are a number of blue line streams identified, as well as 2 existing ponds. So as previously stated, KRS 100 provides that a city may amend its comprehensive plan designation and official zoning map as part of an annexation process. The comprehensive plan designation would be a final action, and the zoning designation would be a recommendation to the city. Staff is recommending no changes to the comprehensive plan designation and is also recommending that upon annexation, the site be designated general industrial. The recommended land use designation for industrial and mixed use is in alignment with the goals, objectives, and recommendations of the comprehensive plan. And the general industrial zone is consistent with the recommended land use designation of industrial and mixed use. This will allow an industrial development in the area that has ease of access to an arterial street and the interstate. Designating this site GI is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The submitted concept development plan meets the minimum requirements of the independent zoning ordinance except for a few areas. Sidewalks would be required along both sides of the proposed private street. The residential buffer is required adjacent to all residentially zoned properties. Parking lot islands are required for every 10 spaces rather than 20. And 1,112 parking spaces are required per the zoning ordinance, whereas they are providing 1,004 total parking spaces. If approved, these items would either need to be addressed through a Board of Adjustment process or through the development agreements that are pending with the city. And it is staff's understanding that these areas are being addressed through the development plan process, or development agreement process. Some additional information. If approved, these items would be required at permitting, which would be landscaping plans being submitted, use-specific standards, lighting, stream and water quality buffers, stormwater management, and signage. Regarding any traffic impact studies, the developers have been working with KYTC on this issue. KYTC did not require a full traffic study for this site. Instead, they required a trip generation memo. This memo has been completed, which concluded that the proposed development will have an insignificant impact on the surrounding roadways. KYTC responded that they have no comments on that memo. So they received that memo and responded back to the developer saying no additional comments. If any traffic study is determined to be required, it would need to be completed prior to permits. And I'd be happy to take any questions.
All right, any questions for Mr. Dembo? Commissioner Francis?
Do our regulations require sidewalks on both sides of private streets?
Yes, so that street would be treated per the zoning standards based off of the subdivision regulations. So even where it's a private street, it's still required to have sidewalks on both sides.
Okay, so if they wanted to do different, that would be a waiver, a separate waiver application.
It would be a waiver that the city could actually grant in that
Okay.
case, because it's based on the zoning regulations rather than the zoning regulations reference the subdivision regulations
Okay.
in this case.
And then was the smaller pond being drained and filled, or is it part of that wetland creek area?
I would defer that to the applicant to
Okay.
speak on.
Anything else? Yeah, Commissioner Ryan.
Patrick, you mentioned trip generation. Have we seen that before? I just don't recall. There's always a traffic study, but just a memo of a trip generation?
Yeah, that is something that we have seen before
Okay.
from KYTC.
Okay.
Anyone else? Nope. All right, great.
Thank you.
All right, I have signed up to speak Chris Morcone, Justin Verst, Ryan Lidke, Elizabeth Mason Hill, Stephen Mason, James Parsons, Brock McKay, and Chris Reinersman. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter? If not, we will start with our applicant, which is City of Independence. I don't know who on the applicant team would like to kick us off.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. It's been a while since I've been before you. It's good to be back here again. I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time. I'm just really here to say this entire area of Independence, I stood on a lot of front porches talking about this. Our goal was to diversify the revenue in the city. identified this area years and years ago as an opportunity. It was limited impact on residential. It was in the kind of the southwestern corner of the city, good interstate access. And at that time, 536 was a little windier, but it was still planned. So we knew it was coming, and it has since come. And we were fortunate and actually met with the Mason family several years ago to have that discussion. At that time, we just talked about annexation and if you're ever interested. At that time, they were not. In the meantime, the Spiegel Farm was sold. Van Trust came along and developed. Through my many years of commercial real estate practice as an appraiser, I was familiar with Van Trust, so very excited that we had a company with a solid reputation. I knew they built nice buildings. They'd done several in this area and around the Midwest, around the country. And it worked out wonderfully. We have a beautiful park there. We've filled the 2 larger buildings at this point, and it's certainly made a difference. When the Mason Farm became available and they went into talks with them, we started talking to Van Trust again and came to an agreement. This is the next logical extension of the park. So yeah, we were very excited at this opportunity for the citizens of Independence. And that's all I have, unless somebody has any questions.
All right, any questions for Mayor Reinersman? No. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Anyone else on the applicant team? Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, thank you. Ryan Lidke, 3561 Westbrook Place, Lewiston, Ohio. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. Again, Ryan Lidke with Van Trust Real Estate. As the Mayor mentioned, developer for the Park 536 development directly to the east. Just a real quick kind of overview on Van Trust as a whole. Based out of Kansas City, 5 regional offices. I'm residing out of the Columbus, Ohio office, focusing across the region, office, industrial, multifamily, science and tech product types. Family held, private developer. This slide just kind of gives you kind of an overview of the regional offices and then kind of the focused industrial developments throughout the country. As you can see, kind of the Cincinnati Metro is Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Metro. We've completed 8 industrial developments over the past recent years, both in Kenton and Boone County. Kind of just gives a brief review of our reach. And as the Mayor mentioned, again, we're looking at this development to be truly an extension of the Park 536 development. As you can see, this is kind of a brief overview or aerial of the 2 existing buildings that are there. The top building is currently occupied by Thermo Fisher. The other larger building at the bottom is currently occupied by DSB. And as you can see, there's still an open lot, a vacant lot, if you will. We have completed design and in for permit currently for that speculative development that we anticipate breaking ground here this summer. So as you can see, the roundabout obviously is installed. The public road, as was mentioned earlier, Robert Spiegel, has been completed, and then the stub would be directly to page left. And again, kind of the overview of the elevation, kind of very similar feel of what we would look at doing the development to the Mason development to the west. So just giving a very similar feel, an extension of the existing park. So, any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Lakey?
Okay,
No?
thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Burst?
Good. Justin Burst, BX and BX Engineering, 466 Erlanger Road, Erlanger, Kentucky. I've got several slides in here, but honestly, Patrick hit it really well, covered most of what I got, so I'm going to kind of skip through pretty quick since he probably covered it better than I could. So obviously the zoning's R1C, and Patrick did a good job explaining that those properties to the west there are currently vacant. They are owned by the industrial development developer that owns the property on the west side of the Boone County line. So the industrial development to the west owns those properties. We've talked to them. They have no objections with what we're doing. They're just not ready to do anything on their properties yet. Future land use, Patrick already covered that pretty well. Relationship to the comprehensive plan, Patrick already stole my thunder there. Same thing here. This is the proposed development here. It's the last piece in between all the rest of the industrial, Park 536, everything over in Boone County. Just finishing out that industrial area. Here's a colored version of the same plan that Patrick showed you earlier. I'll just kind of hit a few highlights. Patrick covered a lot of that pretty well. The buffer yards, Patrick mentioned about the properties to the west, which is actually on the top side of the page here. These two little skinny pieces here are the pieces that are currently zoned residential, even though they're vacant. There aren't any houses on there anymore. It's not, there's no chance it's going to be residential. It's going to be part of the industrial development. So we asked that there would be no buffer on the west side because it'll really be buffering against the future land use, which is industrial. On the south side, Patrick mentioned this is the Glenhurst subdivision down here. We are going to provide, at a minimum, the 75-foot buffer that the zoning regulations require. We think we can get some berms back in there. We don't know, haven't quite finished the grading in there, but we'll definitely provide quite a bit of buffering to those residential properties to the south. And then on the north side, which is on the right here on Mount Zion Road, we intend to leave the lake. We're going to use the lake for stormwater management. It's a really nice lake if you've ever driven by and noticed it. There are quite a few trees on the north side between the lake and Mount Zion Road. Our intention is to leave those trees. We don't have any reason to get in there and tear those trees out. We're going to try to leave as many as we can on the south side of the lake. And then, as Patrick mentioned, there's a kind of a stream downstream of the lake. We're going to try to leave all the trees down there. We'll have to do a little bit of work on the dam to get the dam up to current standards, but trying to leave as many of those trees on the north side as we can. Patrick mentioned about the road in the center to be the private street, and we are proposing, Mr. France, to have a sidewalk just on one side. You know, if you have a private street that's got houses down the street and everybody's crossing around and walking, it makes sense to have sidewalks on both sides, but for an industrial park where you're not really walking back and forth between houses, you might go from one end to the other, we feel like one sidewalk on one side is sufficient, and that's what we're showing in the concept plan. And that's what I believe the city is okay with that, but we could confirm that. I know there's whenever you have an industrial park, there's always discussion about trucks and car parking and making sure there's sufficient parking. So as Patrick mentioned, the numbers on how many trailer parking spaces, we've got trailer parking lined up all the way down both sides of the buildings. We've got this long driveway that wraps all the way around lot 5. So if there was a user that needed to have some staging for semi-tractor trailers, and it always kind of comes up what happens if there's a busy time and the semi and the driver need some place to stage for a little bit. You could line 45 semis up along that driveway on that side. It's wide enough for passing. So we've kind of planned for flexibility. There's room for expansion of car parking. There's room for expansion of truck parking. So we want to make sure that we don't have any negative impacts on Robert Spiegel Drive, which is a city street. Patrick mentioned Sigmund Lane. If you can see my cursor up on the very top corner, that's the next roundabout to the west from where Robert Spiegel Drive is. There is a stubbed street that kind of heads in that way. We have talked to the industrial developer to the west, and I think they have some interest in maybe extending that road down at some point. We're not opposed to them connecting into this development, connecting into the private road, the cul-de-sac. So there is a potential future additional roadway connection if that developer on the west side wanted to connect through. We're not opposed to that. This site has public utilities, water, sewer, electric, it's all there. Really thanks to Park 536. The original development brought all those utilities up here, brought the sewer up, brought the water up, so everything's there and ready to go. Next slide is the grading plan we've done so far. It's kind of boring, nothing really exciting to see on there. And then this just highlights that private street in the middle of the development. Signage-wise, the signage will basically match the Park 536 signage. If anybody's been out there, it's kind of standard industrial park signage, but it looks nice. It's a nice signage package, and it'll all match together. So that's everything we have, I think, from the development team. I think that's everything we've got to discuss. So we're happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Verst?
Yeah. You had mentioned the private drive, there may be potential that it's extended.
Yes.
Would that have to be converted to a public roadway then?
It could be extended as a private drive if the developer would grant easements to allow the access to because it'll have an access easement through it for the 3 buildings that are in this development, and they can grant access to another developer to have access through it. If they wanted to, came in and asked for it to be a public street, that could happen maybe soon, but once we build the street and it hasn't been inspected to public standards, we anticipate it would just stay a private street.
Any other questions? Mr. France?
Might be more for the land trust, but are these 3 buildings speculative, or are they for clients that are contracting to move into them?
Yeah, sure. Good question. Currently, they're speculative at this moment in time. Obviously, we have a time frame to get through, and then obviously heavy earthwork and utility
And then
package.
the 4th building that's, you mentioned speculative, and the existing Park 536 is going to start this summer.
That's correct. That's anticipated this summer.
So there's not a concern, so 4 speculative buildings all going to be going on
Yeah,
somewhat simultaneously?
definitely, it's a good question, be a phased approach, similar to what the Park 536 development was. I mean, again, that was in 2021, and we're
Okay.
just finishing that 3rd building, so it'd be a phased approach for sure.
Is one of the 3 designated as the first to go here?
Not at this moment.
Not, okay.
Mm-mm.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Okay, I also have signed up to speak Chris Marconi. Chris, you need anything?
Mr. Chairman, for the first time ever, I get
Lucky you, lucky you. Elizabeth Mason Hill?
I'm the trustee of the trust.
I either need you to come up to the mic, yeah. You can state your name and address for the record, please.
Elizabeth Mason Hill, my address 736 Meadowood Drive, Villa Hills. I'm the trustee of the trust that owns the property at 957 East Mount Zion Road. And I just wanted to state for the record, we have no objections to the property development or the zoning changes.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Hill? Mr. Mason, anything?
I've got nothing.
Okay, for the record, he had nothing to add. Mr. Parsons? Nope. Mr. McKay? Nope. All right, that's all I have signed up to speak. We can recess, what? No, I was hearing something. We'll recess the public hearing for discussion among commissioners. Pretty straightforward. Okay. All right, we'll return to the public hearing. Any clarifications needed of staff or the applicant? All right, we will close the public hearing and we will entertain a motion. This is City of Independence. Would Ms. Snyder, our Independence rep, like to make a motion?
Yes. I would like to make the following motion with reference to PC-26-0003-MA and make a favorable recommendation. I move to approve the map amendment based on the facts and the considerations contained in the staff report and based on the testimony of staff tonight. I just lost my place, I'm sorry. And that the recommended land use designation for industrial mixed use is in agreement with the goals and objectives and recommendations within the adopted comprehensive plan.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's first by Commissioner Snyder, second by Commissioner Sketch. Mr. Smith, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Snyder?
Yes.
Commissioner Sketch?
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Wickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Armbruster?
Abstain.
Commissioner Baumgartner?
Yes.
Let's see, Commissioner Bridges?
Yes.
Commissioner Darple?
Yes.
Commissioner DeAngelis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Flem?
Yes.
Commissioner France?
Yes.
Commissioner Heydrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Herman?
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
And the motion is approved.
All right, thank you. And then, does that cover
She covered.
recommendation to?
Yes.
All right, good. That's it. All right, well, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks for the presentation, it's very helpful. All right, next item. File number PC-26-0003-TX. The applicant is the City of Ellesmere per Marty Linhoff, Mayor. The request is a proposed text amendment to the Ellesmere zoning ordinance to remove the requirement for opaque fences for outdoor storage where permitted as a primary or accessory use. Mr. Sheets.
Yep. Thank you. For the record, my name is Cody Sheets with PDS staff. As the chair stated, this is a text amendment to the Ellesmere zoning ordinance to remove the requirement for opaque fences for outdoor storage where permitted as a primary or accessory use. In 2021, the city of Ellesmere adopted the new Z21 zoning ordinance. The Ellesmere zoning ordinance defines outdoor storage as the use of an area for the long-term deposit, that being more than 24 hours, of any usable good, material, merchandise, or licensed vehicles. And the zoning ordinance has the following use-specific standards for outdoor storage. The one we're particularly interested in states that all outdoor storage facilities for manufacturing equipment, fuel, raw materials, sub-assemblies, finished goods, and defective or repairable goods shall be enclosed by an opaque fence. The submitted request will amend the use-specific standards for outdoor storage as a primary or accessory use in industrial areas by removing the opaque requirement for fences. Outdoor storage is currently a permitted use within the GI or general industrial zone, but is not currently permitted within the FI or flex industrial zone. And the Ellesmere zoning ordinance permits the following fence types in the front, side, and rear yard of the GI zone up to a height of 8 feet tall. Compliance with the comprehensive plan is not required for text amendments. However, staff has identified the following relevant goals, objectives, and recommendations. And KRS 100 states the allowable content that cities may enact. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation on the proposed text amendment. We do find that it will be more consistent with the fence requirements for industrial zones, which do not currently allow privacy fences less than 50% open. Other requirements for screening will still be in place, including the option for a fence to be up to 8 feet tall, along with providing the zoning administrator with discretion on the screening, which may or may not be required if there's no potential impacts on surrounding areas. And we do find that the proposed text amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The removal of the opaque requirement for screening fences will create a more business-friendly environment and streamline the regulatory process. And I'd be more than happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Sheets?
So is it, this would, approved, would, primary fence would revert to chain link, is that correct? The woven wire?
It could revert to those, it just wouldn't have to be opaque.
Would it require the barbed top, or is it a railed top with no sharp points on it, or does it?
That would be a requirement of that particular property as to whether
Okay.
they would need security fences or not.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Simpson.
Was there a particular reason, or do you know why the tape was singled out where it had to be opaque?
Yeah, it sounds like there's an area in Ellesmere that's primarily already developed for industrial uses. There were a few more properties going in there that would need to meet that opaque requirement. But as shown in the zoning ordinance, it's functionally difficult to meet the opaque requirement with the types of fences that are currently allowed.
Yeah, Commissioner Flynn.
Mr. Sheets, the rest of that sentence, it goes on to say, maximum height of 8 feet, a berm or a wall with a maximum height of 8 feet, in combination with landscaping, that completely conceals the view of those materials. So that is not proposed to be struck, the part about completely concealing the view. Is it consistent to strike opaque, but to leave the language that requires a complete concealment?
Yeah, so in discussion with our zoning administrator on the reading of that, it says a wall with a maximum height of 8 feet in combination with landscaping that completely conceals the view.
Yep.
So if it is a wall, that's when the landscaping is required to completely conceal the view.
Okay, so there's not a concern with completely concealing. It really is specific to the composition of the fence material.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, thanks Thanks, Mr. Sheets. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this? All right. Is it Mr. Aliff, City?
Yes, sir. I'm with the city of Elmsbury.
If you-
I have more to add.
If I could just have you come in up to the mic real quick.
My name's Rich Aliff with the city of Ellsbury. He explained everything. I have nothing to add.
Okay, thanks for being here. Okay, that's all I had signed up to speak. So with that, we will recess for public hearing. Recess the public hearing for discussion among commissioners. No? All right, we will return to public hearing. Any clarifications needed? All right, we will close the public hearing and we'll entertain a motion. Mr. Armbruster?
I think I should recuse myself on this one. You can recuse himself.
Okay, all right, there you go. Let the record reflect, he's recused himself on this one. Someone else like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion. I make a motion if we make a favorable recommendation for file number PC 260003, TX for Ellesmere, and the proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance to remove the requirement for opaque fences for outdoor storage where permitted as a primary accessory use based on staff's recommendation, complies with the comprehensive plan and the testimony given this evening.
You would never know he's been doing this for over 20 years. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner France. Any discussion? If not, Mr. Smith, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Darple?
Yes.
Commissioner France?
Yes.
Commissioner Heydrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Herman?
Yes.
Commissioner Janes?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Sketch?
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder?
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Wickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgardner?
Yes.
Commissioner Bridges?
Yes.
Commissioner DeAngelis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Flem?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, next up, file number PC-26-0004-TX. The applicant is the City of Edgewood, per Brian Diener, City Administrator. The request is the City of Edgewood seeks to replace the current zoning ordinance with a new zoning ordinance that recognizes Edgewood's development patterns and addresses new development trends. A link to the full draft text and proposed zoning map can be found at https://kcpcy.org/meetings/now-pending. Mr. Vidakovich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. For the record, my name is Andy Vidakovich with staff. I'm excited to be here this evening to be presenting to you the new Edgewood zoning ordinance. As we always like to do, we like to thank the working group that hung with the process for over 3 years, including the mayor, Mr. Diener, who is here this evening, council members Barledge and Shriver, Commissioner Darple, and City Attorney Frank Wickman as well. So thank you very much to them for participating in this process. So just as some background, I won't go through the comprehensive plan and the subdivision regulations because we've been through that several times. The working group did meet over the last 3 years over and off to tailor the new zoning ordinance to the City of Edgewood. And then the Edgewood City Council met in June of 2025, excuse me. Staff presented to them and answered questions regarding the new zoning ordinance. So, as with all of the other zoning ordinances, a major part is simplifying the ordinance. Part of this is reducing the number of zoning districts. So, within Edgewood, the number of zoning districts is being reduced from 18 to 11 total districts. We'll walk through the new zoning map. A majority of the city is zoned, currently zoned residential and will remain zoned residential. You can see again on the screen here, the predominantly yellow, the light yellow, and the darker orange areas. Those are all the various residential. The lighter yellow is in a few areas, that's large lot subdivision. The bright yellow, which is a majority of the city, that's the conventional subdivision. And then a couple of areas that are the darker, kind of the orange color, are the compact subdivision residential zones. There are 3 commercial zones currently in the city, and those commercial zones remain. Those are the neighborhood commercial, the community commercial, and the historic commercial, or excuse me, the highway commercial districts. Those areas are going to be replacing the existing zones. You can see a couple of those zones around the Barnwood Road area, which is right off of Turkey Foot. There is a small commercial area along Dudley, across from the St. Elizabeth campus, and then down at the Dudley Road, Madison Pike intersection down there at the eastern edge of the city is another commercial area. So the employment districts are the business park and the flex industrial. The business park zone will replace the professional office zone. The professional office zone is another zone that's located down on the Dixie Highway, Dudley Road and the Madison Pike intersection there, as well as, again, kind of in that Barnwood Drive area. The flex industrial zone, there is a small area zoned flex industrial. Again, it's on Dudley Road down towards the intersection with Madison Pike. Other districts include the conservation zone and the institutional zone. The conservation zone, that's a straight conversion from the existing conservation zone. It's not currently mapped in the city. It won't be mapped, but it's still on the books, and that'll be carried over. The institutional zone, you see that big, large purple area in the middle. That's the St. Elizabeth campus. There are a couple of other schools in the city building that will also be zoned for institutional as well. There is a planned unit development zone also within text, but again, the city doesn't have any areas currently mapped for planned unit developments. I want to highlight just some of the new uses that we typically talk about with these new zoning ordinances. The city decided to not allow accessory dwelling units. The city currently allows for owner-occupied short-term rentals up to a certain percentage of the square footage of the existing of the current home. Those regulations will be carried forward. Family child care homes, those are changes that we recently went through regarding state statutes. Those are going to be carried forward. Qualified manufactured homes, again, something that we're going to incorporate immediately into the new zoning ordinance. The city did want to define and allow vape shops specifically within the highway commercial zone. So those were added both to the definitions and as a permitted use within the zoning regulations and are allowed within the highway commercial zone. The city will add, allow encroachments into the front and rear yard. Those currently aren't allowed, so the regulations will change to allow a front porch to encroach 5 feet into the front yard, and will allow for a deck to encroach into the rear setback up to 5 feet as well. So again, just allowing a little bit of additional flexibility there. Also included, the city will allow for the flexible administrative modifications, which in very limited circumstances allows the zoning administrator to allow a modification of up to 10% of a requirement. So this is usually, again, very minor in only specific situations. The city is including transparency in building materials. However, those are not going to be required. The text will be in the zoning ordinance. They're there for reference. If in the future the city decides to require them, they can go back and do a text amendment to allow them. The fencing regulations are going to remain roughly the same as they were, except the formatting is going to be updated. And the fencing around flag lots is going to be fixed in order to allow for greater, I guess, options and flexibility for folks who own those flag lots behind and to the rear of houses. So some of the things that will be carried forward, the hillside development standards, the flood and protection development standards, stormwater management, odor, noise, dust, vibration, those types of things are currently within zoning ordinance. Those will be carried forward. The city is adding the stream and water quality buffers, which requires a water and quality buffer, a riparian buffer around certain perennial and intermittent streams. The city decided to not include the green development, infill, and gray field development standards and the viewshed protection standards. The city identified several congestion mitigation corridors, Dixie Highway, Dudley Road, Horse Branch Road, Turkey Foot Road, Thomas More Parkway, and Charter Oak Road. It is in the intent of the city to maximize safety and minimize disruption of traffic flow by directing access from abutting properties and to maximize the city's investments in their roadways. Signs are remaining the same. They are going to be reorganized into the new format. The city did elect to go forward with the concurrent variance and conditional use process. If a conditional use or a variance is required as part of a map amendment, this will allow the Planning Commission to hear and decide those cases rather than going through a separate Board of Adjustment process. As I mentioned, the city is adding vape shop, vape production, and electronic cigarettes. That was a specific request from the city. And we, of course, updated the definitions regarding the qualified manufactured homes based on the recent state legislation. So some other improvements include the site lighting, clear site distance triangles, updated definitions, downspouts, clarifications on private easements, and traffic impact studies. So staff finds that the new zoning ordinance is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The new zoning ordinance places an emphasis on maintaining the existing character of its neighborhoods through removing barriers for existing homeowners and also by ensuring that new development will not negatively impact neighbors. And just some state statutes. So KRS 100 allows the legislative body to enact permanent land use regulations, including zoning and other kinds of growth management. It also states the allowable content of zoning which cities and counties may enact. And finally, before a zoning ordinance is adopted, the Planning Commission shall prepare the text and have a public hearing on it. And so staff has given this a favorable recommendation. I'll go back and state that the Z21 Review Committee met back in October of 2025, and after hearing from staff and hearing from the city, they recommended to the full Planning Commission approval as well. Finding that the new zoning ordinance is consistent with the relevant KRS statutes, is generally consistent with the goals, objectives, and recommendations of the comprehensive plan, and again, the text and the map is generally consistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan. So that concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
All right, any questions for Mr. Vidakovich? No? All right, thank you. I have Mr. Diener signed up on behalf of the applicant. Anything to add?
Chairman, I have nothing to add.
All right.
Just would like to thank the staff for the professionalism and expertise in getting us to the finish line. We could not have done it without them. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Indicated that nothing to add other than he thanked the staff for getting it to the finish, helping them get it to the finish line. So, all right, I don't have anyone else signed up to speak. We'll recess the public hearing for discussion among commissioners.
I was on this committee. I made probably less than half the meetings from the time they did it when they did it evenings, and I have a lot of evening meetings. But I could tell you, Mr. Diener and the mayor and the council folks and staff did just an incredible job of researching and understanding. I mean, when I didn't make a minute, or when I didn't make a meeting, I'd read the minutes and then talk to staff about it. I think that, I mean, you know, Edgewood's been successful in the way it's done. It's run well and a great place to live. And I think this only enhances what it's done. You guys, the countless hours, people just don't realize, and I said it a million times to the folks that are in there, nobody even understands what we do and they don't care until it affects them. You know, so, you know, kudos to you, Mr. Dia and the mayor and, you know, the council. it's a thankless job, but, you know, we sure are glad somebody's doing it. So I do think it's a great product. So.
Mr. Bridges, on behalf of the committee, do you have anything to add?
It had our unanimous recommendation. As I said earlier, we're, Z21, it has lots of different choices, and different cities make different choices. And we're guardrails, so long as it's well thought out. We might question, did you think about this? If they say, this is what we want for our city, we thought about it, we give them our blessing. This one has our blessing.
Yeah, I feel really good about the, kind of the Z21 model that came up, and I feel really good about the individual cities having options, and really the vast majority of them spent a lot of time really thinking, not just rubber stamping it, just saying, yeah, just give us the, the standard. They really thought about what works for their cities and adopted appropriate provisions, and it's going to, I believe, really serve them well going forward. So we appreciate them all going through that process, and thank the staff for their leadership to make this all happen. So, all right, anything else? Otherwise, we can return to the public hearing for any clarifications. If not, we'll now close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I'm the right.
Yep.
Happily make a motion, a favorable recommendation to the City of Ellesmere on file PC 260004TX, where the City of Edgewood seeks to replace the current zoning ordinance with a new zoning ordinance that recognizes Edgewood's development patterns, as it also is in compliance with the Kenton County comprehensive plan based on the recommendation and presentation here this evening.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ryan. Mr. Smith, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Darple?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Sketch?
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder?
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Wickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Armbruster?
Yes.
Commissioner Baumgardner?
Yes.
Commissioner Bridges?
Yes.
Commissioner DeAngelis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Flem?
Yes.
Commissioner France?
Yes.
Commissioner Heydrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Herman?
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
And the motion is approved.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks again. Thanks for being here. Okay, all right, that brings us to reports from committees. Executive Committee, I think we've got a meeting coming up to kind of look at fees for the upcoming year, and so that will be on the close horizon. The other thing I just wanted to highlight that I think you all saw an email come around announcing that Nicole Cullum has been the Finance and Human Resources Director for many years here. She's also been named Deputy Executive Director, and I see Ms. Cullum back there, and congratulations and thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. That's all I have. Anything Direction 2030 implementation, Mr. Simpson?
We did convene an implementation meeting last month and just kind of connect some dots. Prior to that meeting, the committee was presented with the final draft of the housing study, and the committee had the opportunity to review and provide feedback. Those insights were then shared with the consultant, who came back with a revised draft that kind of reflected all the comments they heard in the committee. And so at this stage, we're working with...
Mr. Simpson, would you turn your mic on?
It's never.
Sorry, I saw TV and K back there just scrambling.
Well, at this stage, hopefully you can hear me now. At this stage, we're working with the consultant to come back and share and present the updated housing study to the full commission. So we don't have another meeting scheduled just yet. We're just waiting to get the consultant here to talk to everyone.
All right, thank you. Subdivision review.
We hadn't met, we just got a couple things. Mr. Neltner has compiled a whole list of various other jurisdictions and how they handle single accesses to large developments. And so I want to take a look at that, and also how we actually use and implement our traffic studies. We always talk about these traffic studies, but nobody knows how they really end up being used, and then we require them and nobody knows where they go. So I think we want to clarify that and see if it can be a tool we can better use for everybody. So those are things we're going to be trying to tackle in the next year. Won't be quick, but we will be getting together and starting to tackle those issues.
Two great ideas. Thank you. Z21, anything else to add, Mr. Bridges?
Nothing to report, sir.
Okay. Reports from commission members. Report from legal counsel.
Nothing to report?
Any reports or announcements from staff?
Nothing.
All right. General correspondence.
Keep going, keep going.
All right. Any new business? Any
I
public?
have one question. We have a meeting in July that's right around 4th of July. Did we change that date? I don't have it on the calendar, and I just want to make sure I get it on so I show up.
Yeah.
We did change it, didn't we?
I don't know.
July 7th?
Thanks.
July 7th.
July 7th.
I should have just asked Pamela. She knows.
Yes.
Thank you, Pamela.
Yes. Let's see, and that's all we've got. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.